Hey, what's happening guys? This is Shukesh once again, and today I'm gonna do a quick speed test in between the all new Redmi Y1, which is priced at just 9,000 rupees for the 3GB RAM variant and 11,000 rupees for the 4GB RAM variant. Now, as you know, Xiaomi smartphones are primarily focused on processing power, but this time we have a multimedia phone with a 16 megapixel selfie camera with flash and also dedicated SD card. I have the 3GB RAM variant of Y1 right now, and on my left I have the highly popular Redmi Note 4, which is again the 3GB RAM variant, and it will cost you 2000 rupees more, that is it's at 11,000 rupees. Redmi Note 4 is definitely one of the most powerful devices in this price category. It's powered by Snapdragon 625, whereas you have Snapdragon 435 on the Redmi Y1. So it's obviously less powerful than Redmi Note 4, but how bad is it, or is it really that much different in day-to-day life usage? In fact, Redmi 4 shares the same CPU and GPU, so the question is, should you buy Redmi Y1 and save 2000 rupees, get a fantastic front camera, dedicated SD card, or you should go for the Redmi Note 4 for the extra bit of power? Now, as you can see, the MIUI version on the Y1 is still 8.5, though Redmi Note 4 has already got MIUI 9, so after the update you might expect some boost in performance. On the other hand, Y1 is coming with 7.1.2 Android versions and Redmi Note 4 is at 7.0. Now, another fact I want to add here, the CPU clock speed of Y1 is 1.4 GHz, whereas you have 2 GHz processor on the Redmi Note 4. The resolution of Redmi Note 4's display is Full HD, and you have a 720p display on the Redmi Y1, which will actually help in this speed test since the GPU has to push lower resolution graphics. Now let's get started with the speed test. Well, before that I want to quickly show you the Antutu benchmark score. As you can see, Redmi Note 4 scores around 32% more than Y1, so let's quickly check whether this difference will really affect your user experience. I will start with the boot test, of course, then I will check the fingerprint scanner and the system apps, some third-party applications and also some games. Well, it's hard to tell which is faster because the screen is off, but the turn off process is still going on in the background. So let's turn on the devices and check. Well, as expected, Redmi Note 4 booted really fast and Redmi Y1 is also ready, but it's still actually in the process, so that's why there is this lag, and there you go, both are ready. So the next speed test is going to be on the fingerprint scanners at the back. Well, looks like Redmi Note 4 is momentarily faster. Of course, the difference is of few milliseconds and it should not cause any problem or any issues, but still Redmi Note 4 is faster and it's the winner in this speed test. So these are the small things you need to bear with if you want the Redmi Y1 with a better camera and also lower price tag. But let's not conclude right now. Let's try the system applications, and I will start with the dialer. Well, both were really close. I cannot decide, but it seems like Y1 was slightly faster. Once again, the same thing for the messaging application, so I will say it's a draw. Next we have the camera application, and this time Y1 is the sheer winner. And also notice the color difference in between these two cameras, so definitely the rear camera of Y1 and Redmi Note 4 are different. A detailed camera comparison in between these two smartphones is on the way, so stay tuned for that. Next I'm gonna test the YouTube application, and both are loading and it seems like Y1 is the winner. Let's try some videos. Both are taking some time. Well, Redmi Note 4 has started playing I think 1 second before Redmi Y1, and both are actually quite slow. Let's try another video. This is the unboxing, and Redmi Note 4 has started and Y1 is struggling. Of course there is no issues on the Y1, it happens. Let's try the next video, which is on Galaxy S8, and both are almost instantaneous. Well, I will say this time Redmi Note 4 has won this test. Now I have some third-party applications, so let's start with Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. And I think Redmi Note 4 has won once again. Snapdragon 625 is a really capable processor. If you are into gaming, this is the processor you should look for. If your budget is really low, 435 is also not bad, and considering the resolution is just 720p, it's also performing quite well, as good as 625. As you can see, both Xiaomi devices here are performing almost neck to neck. This time on the Photoshop mix, I think Redmi Y1 was slightly quicker. There I have few more apps I want to check before I test the gaming and the RAM management. Redmi Note 4 seems slightly faster, but still they are very close. Now Appy Geek is also slightly quicker on this Redmi smartphone. Next is the Engadget application, and this time I think Y1 was slightly quicker. So overall in this speed test, so far Redmi Note 4 is the winner. I think in most of the applications Note 4 performed better, but what about gaming? Since you have 2.25 times more resolution on the Redmi Note 4 compared to Y1, I think the gaming performance or the game loading time on the Xiaomi Redmi Y1 won't be that bad. Let's start with Asphalt 8. As before, Redmi Note 4 outshines Redmi Y1, so thanks to Snapdragon 625, Redmi Note 4 is probably one of the best smartphones at around 10 or 11,000 rupees. Only the camera is not up to the mark. I wish Xiaomi will release a smartphone with the processor or a better processor of Redmi Note 4 and the camera of the Xiaomi Redmi Y1. Y1 is of course a much better replacement for Redmi 4, which share the same price tag, same CPU, but smaller display and crappy cameras, so don't buy Redmi 4. Though the battery is slightly bigger, it's not as good as you can expect. Once again, Redmi Note 4 is the winner in this game. As far as gaming performance is concerned, Redmi Y1 is of course not bad at all. Most of the games are playable without any considerable lag, but of course Redmi Note 4 performs better in gaming with smoother and lag-free graphics. There we have Brothers in Arms 3, one of the most graphics intensive games out there, and let's see what happens. As usual, Redmi Note 4 is quicker, and Y1 is also ready. Next I have another big game, Asphalt Extreme, so let's check. Well, as you can see guys, in this game Redmi Y1 actually beats the Note 4, so that's quite nice. So guys, we are at the end of this speed test, and as I just mentioned, Redmi Note 4 is the sure winner overall, but of course Redmi Y1 is quite promising, and for the price it's actually a quite good all-in-one smartphone. It replaces Redmi 4, and if you are not a gaming freak, you can actually ditch the Redmi Note 4 and buy this Y1. It's cheaper, the cameras are better, and you have a dedicated SD slot, which is really very important. Now it's time for the RAM management, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, I have 3GB RAM variant of both Redmi Note 4 and Y1. I will start with the YouTube application. There it is. Both are taking some time, and though the application did not reload, it took some time, but still it's in the RAM, so that's quite nice. There we have Adobe Lightroom, and once again it's taking some time, but it's still in the RAM, so the RAM management doesn't seem that bad despite having 3GB only, and this Engadget application is reloading from the start. Both Redmi Note 4 and Y1 have kicked out this application from the memory to save RAM and also battery. There we have Asphalt 8, which is also reloading on the Redmi Note 4, and I'm still waiting for the Y1 to respond. Well, it's still in the RAM, though it took some time to load, but it's not reloading. Your gaming progress is saved. So suppose you were gaming and you switch to another application or multiple applications, and when you come back, there is a good chance Y1 will keep the gaming progress, whereas Redmi Note 4 might lose it. So looks like Y1 offers better RAM management. This game Brothers in Arms 3 is reloading from the start, so none of these devices still have it in the RAM. I think the reason is the battery performance of the Redmi Note 4 is actually one of the best in its class, which is as a result of the RAM management in some way, so there is a trade-off in between battery performance or multitasking, that is the RAM management. Let's check Asphalt Extreme to be sure, and as you can see guys, Y1 did not reload, it loaded to where you left off, whereas Redmi Note 4 is starting from the beginning. So of course in this RAM management test, Xiaomi Redmi Y1 is the sheer winner. It beats the Redmi Note 4 black and blue, whereas in the speed test part, Redmi Note 4 is the winner. Well guys, we are at the end of this video. I hope that you have found this video very useful. A couple of more videos are coming soon on the Y1 and Y1 Lite, so make sure you subscribe and also keep in touch with this channel. This is Shukesh signing off. Have a nice day guys.